the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make, firm, establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I'll introduce you to my wonderful guest, Stella Tudor. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both me and Stella for us to connect with like-minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Rae, and I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past to create your future and transform your present, to expand your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, and take charge of your destiny so you can feel your purpose. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and through divine presence and everything else I offer, I guide you to remember why you are here, your spiritual path, and the clarity of the next steps to take to fulfill your purpose. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Stella Tudor, about how knowing yourself first can help you in your connections with other people and any situations that may arise in your life. Now, Stella's life has been an adventure. Originally from Moldova, going to Romania, then moving to the UK with her husband. Had a gorgeous daughter as well as running her own business, and she is one very busy lady. Now, Stella wears many hats, but one of her favourites is guiding intuitive coaches, artists, and psychics to tap into their true selves, to find their gifts and confidently share them to the world. Stella is an amazing intuitive, a card reader and guide who helps you connect with your own energy and learn how to work with it instead of pushing it away. Now, with testimonials such as Stella helped me see much clearer path to keep moving forward. What a beautiful way to start my Sunday. Thank you so much, Stella. You really helped me get my ideas in order and see a much clearer path to keep moving forward. And signed up for 3 sessions with Stella to work on getting the confidence needed to start my business. Stella was very easy to work with and helped me see the monster that I'd been afraid of for years in much a different way. I took a lot away from our time together and feel that working with her has really helped me spring forward and help me get unstuck. And of course, I personally think she is one of the most beautiful souls I have ever met. So without further delay, hello, Stella, and welcome back to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hi, Ray. Oh, thank you so much for this intro. I am so grateful and I feel honored to be here with you. So, with that being said, I'm doing amazing because I'm here with
Brilliant.
you.
See, that's why I have Stella on my show. She's wonderful. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Stella and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. And Graham is here already. Hi there, Ray and Stella. Hugs from sunny Florida. He was on YouTube, but he is now on Facebook. I can fully understand you there, Ray. So, join us on Facebook, YouTube, share this video. We always want you to share this video. So please don't be shy. And I do ask any questions. So Stella, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how it all starts within?
Yeah, it's a long story. And as you said, my life has been an adventure. But throughout this journey, I have always been looking to connect with myself, to understand myself better, because I feel that as I connect with my own energy, I know how to express myself in a way that I am understood by others and the universe as well, because we are all co creating and we are connecting with people around us. We are all asking for amazing, magical things. But it's very important to know ourselves first. And it's important to know what is it that we're asking for? What is it that we want to answer, maybe to some questions? What are our desires, our boundaries? And I feel that all of these things are clear to us only when we connect with ourselves first. And so, if we can focus on communication within ourselves, then we can create a better communication with people around us too.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and it can be quite difficult sometimes to actually have that communication with other people if we're not 100% sure ourselves. You know what we want to say. Should we say it? Shouldn't we say it? Are people going to think we're mad if we say it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's very easy to like try and please everybody around you and try and be nice. I'm not saying to not be nice, but what I'm saying is that it's possible to say no with kindness if something is not for you, for example, or when we're learning something at the beginning, we are modeling a teacher, a mentor, but then it's okay to come back to ourselves and ask ourselves, okay, how can I do it in my own way? And it's okay to take that time to sit with that information, with that energy, and then take steps forward in a way that feels aligned to who we are. But that's why it's so important to keep coming back and checking in with ourselves before communicating, asking, creating anything else at all. Because then, if we do things that are not aligned with who we are, we get into a lot of frustration. And who wants that?
Yes, exactly. Who wants that? And Graham says, tact and diplomacy are not my forte. I'm not saying a word, but I do follow my inner guides, and life is so full. And Eric says, "Hey guys, sending you love your way." Hi, Eric. Great to see you there. But yeah, tact and diplomacy aren't necessarily what you have to do to be able to connect with other people anyway, are they?
Yeah, I mean, they can help in certain situations, but I mean, I'd rather say, hey, no, that's not for me, rather than wasting valuable, precious time of my life to go forward with something that I know is not for me. And sometimes we don't even understand if it's for us or not unless we take the time to meditate, to journal, to ask ourselves the questions. And sometimes it also helps to talk with a friend who you trust, and then that friend can like literally ask you questions. So for example, if you want to go for one project or the other, and you're just like really confused, I don't know what to create this offer or the other offer, like I have no idea. And then there can be one friend or somebody you trust that would ask you one question, and then your answer to that question, if you're being really really honest, can clarify for you if one offer or the other is for you. Because like for example, maybe you're thinking about creating one-to-one service or a group program. So these are two different things, right? And especially as intuitives, we need to understand what kind of emotional capacity we have to invite those people to work with us. And maybe we are in a position where we want to do both. We want to do one-to-one and we want to do a group program. And you're like going back and forth, back and forth. And if there is somebody you really trust and comes to you and say, okay, how much time do you have? How much open present and how much capacity do you have to serve people at this point in time? And your answer to that person is actually the answer to yourself. And if you're being honest, you are actually saving a lot of time, a lot of headache and frustration. So this is just one of the examples that I can give, in these kind of situations.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because I think sometimes if you are, say, like in a business kind of like setting, that you kind of like overpromise sometimes, because you want the clients to really sort of like think you're amazing and everything. But if you overpromise and you're not true to yourself, then that can actually be a turn off for the client, because you're not able to keep up with what you've told them you're going to be doing for them.
Absolutely. And as intuitives and creatives, we want to share our heart with the world. We want to be there to serve the world. And it's very easy to overgive, overshare. That's why, it helps to take breaks, in between. And yeah, to just have those moments to reflect on everything is very useful.
Yeah. So how do you sort of like you know, how do you reflect on things? You know, how do you keep that balance?
Good question. I'm doing my very best to take that time for myself. And what helps me the most is nature. I really like to go for walks. I like to just connect with trees. I may hug a tree here and there as
I love hugging trees.
yeah. So I love to hug trees. I love to take pictures of everything in nature, as you know, absolutely everything. Sometimes I just let myself go into that mood of being quiet and calm and still and letting for the answers to come in. And even if they don't come in, I'm at peace with myself because I have trust in God, the universe creator, that is going to be there with me. And if I need silence now, then that's what I'm going to embrace and invite into my space. Because, you know, the answers come when we are ready to receive them. And maybe when we feel agitated, stressed, overwhelmed, maybe everything that we need in that very moment is silence. And it's important to not like push to where is my answer, where is my answer. I feel like this is really important. So one of my ways is to go for walks, connect with nature, sometimes listen to music, like just sound, um, sometimes having conversations with people who I trust. And like when I feel like I need some sort of advice or guidance, even from my coaches as well, my like the way I ask for guidance is, please ask me a question so that I can understand what's going on in my head. So that's how I ask for guidance, because I know that if somebody can ask me the right question for me in that moment, and I am honest with myself and I have that space where I can bring it on the surface, then that's going to help me so much rather than putting the responsibility into somebody else's hands and say, oh, you have to tell me what should I do? Like, what should I do now? So no, I everything that I do, I try to like come back within myself and reflect on all that I need to look at.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. And Eric says, I like that idea. I'm going through a lot of that myself right now. Also, trees are amazing. Yeah, trees are absolutely amazing. Graham says, clarity of inner purpose defined. Hugs. Yeah, it definitely is. And I think questions really are quite important. And it's kind of like if it's kind of like rather than asking the universe to bring you stuff, it's asking you want, I don't know, you want some money coming in, universe, where's that money, that whereas if you ask universe, how can I get X amount of money into my life,
Yeah.
then you're asking the universe, how can I do this? So again, you're putting that onus back onto yourself to ask that question to get the answer yourself, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Absolutely. And as both of us, we work with future life progression as well. Like when you ask these kind of questions, you're opening up to all the possibilities that are out there. And then you connect with the energy of each and every one of those. And that's how you go even deeper within yourself. So, yeah, it's like rather than pushing and trying to force things, it's important to have the patience and to ask for those things to come into our life when we're ready. Because another thing is the universe will never like invade our space, it will never do that. We have to ask for that to come into our life. We have to ask for that help, for that guidance. And when we do ask that for like with an open heart, then we'll start seeing signs and we'll start seeing synchronicities and people coming in our life. And yeah, it's magical, beautiful, but it does take patience, stillness, calmness, and all of those things.
And also being aware, because if you don't notice these synchronicities or these signs, then you're going to miss the answers.
Yeah. True, absolutely. And also another thing is that I believe universe will communicate with us in a language that we understand. So, for example, if um, like we are working with specific tool and we hold that tool every single day, then the universe may give us the answer through that tool. Or if we're listening to music every day, then we may hear a song or a message through a song, and that will make total sense to us. So, yeah, it's this constant communication that's so important. And communication is a big part of my life. I've had to overcome a lot of challenges when it comes to communication. I had to learn a lot of dialects, new languages, and stuff like that. And now I do believe that every language is a tool for us to express what's within ourselves, for us to articulate what's going on in our head, the message that wants to come out. And so we can use different languages to share the same message. It's how we use the tool, the language, the cards, the everything that we can use. These are tools. It's about how we use them.
Yeah, it totally is. And Eric says, thank you for the lovely reminder of how important questions are. They really are, and Eric started channeling light language, so again, the communication is coming through in a way that he can express.
That's really beautiful. It really, really is. It shows that Eric, you were inspired to connect further with the universe, and that's amazing because not only that you are elevating your own energy so much, but you're helping the collective. Because when we choose to go through this growth, we up level everything around us as well. It's like a consequence, right, of our actions. So it's good to have good
Yeah.
actions.
Oh, it totally is. And I mean, obviously, with your intuitive things, you connect, in so many, different ways, and you use tools as well as your intuition, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and then you develop your own connection with those tools. And for example, like if one symbol means something to someone, it may mean something different to me. And that's again about coming back to myself. And yeah, it's important to read books, to learn courses, to work with mentors, work with coaches. It's so important because those people, they've been through so many experiences, and they can help us speed up sometimes some processes. But then after I learn like all of this information, I tend to ask myself, what does this mean to me? How can I interpret this message, this symbol, this sign? Um, and even like when somebody works with me and we're just about to have a session, um, I would usually ask that person to send me a voice message and tell me, and my question to them is like, tell me what's going on in your life. Just share in your own words what is going on in your life. And so sometimes they would talk, and then they say, oh my God, that doesn't make any sense. But to me, it does, because I don't look at like word by word by word. I want to hear and feel the energy that is trying to be transmitted through the words, because the words are tools that we use to share that message. So I like to feel beyond that, because that's how I connect. Different people will connect in different ways, but yeah, that's how I connect with everything really and everyone around me.
Yeah, and Graham Yep says clarity of communication does not depend upon spoken word, but understanding the meaning within.
Mm.
And he says that was very nicely stated, Stella. It was. It's and it does really make sense, because anyone can say anything, but it's the words, the emotion behind it. And again, a great teacher, a great therapist is someone who actually really listens to what you're saying, not just the words, but actually the emotions, the feelings behind those words, so
Yeah.
they can adapt to that.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. That's yeah. When we listen, what we do is we almost like we open up a space. So when we choose to listen, we open up this space for the other person to feel safe, and so that they can be who they are and share what's on their heart in that moment. And I believe this is incredibly, incredibly precious because, it's not a coincidence that in some religions, for example, right, people go and how do you call that action when people go and they say what's going on, like all their sins and stuff
Oh,
like that?
confession.
Yeah, yeah, the confession. It's not a coincidence that something like confession exists, right? Because it's like when events and emotions and lots of things build up within ourselves, from our throat chakra we want to share them. So we can just go in the nature and talk to trees, which I do that quite a lot.
I do that quite a lot as well. I have some brilliant conversations.
Yeah. Or you can, in some situations, you can find people that you trust. And so when those people choose to listen, that means they're opening up the space for you to share what's on your heart. And sometimes that is enough. Like, just the fact that you feel safe to share your message is enough to lift off like a heavy load off your shoulders, and that can be enough. And then yeah, it's just like, but as you see, that's our way of connecting with these kind of informations.
Yeah, exactly. And Graham again says, once that clarity is made, understanding becomes easier for both parties. Which is true, because you're really you built that trust up between you and that person. So not does it make it easier for them to share with you, but it also makes it easier for you to share your guidance with them in that space that you've created
Yeah, and
around
without,
there.
yeah, and before you know it, you've guided yourself through that confession.
Exactly, and got the answers you need.
Yeah, it happens so often because, like, especially this year, I've worked like I've had more clients coming to me for longer containers, so like 3 months, 6 months, and I would allow these people to reach out to me, on like specific days, so that they can share what's going on. We would have a session, then they would absorb that, process it, and then they would send me voice messages. And so just knowing that there is a space there where you can just breathe and say everything, that can be enough. Because sometimes I may like start to listen to somebody's message, and from start to finish, at the end, they would say, "Oh, so I guess I've answered my own question." Because
Yeah,
all I did was to create that safe space for them to figure out maybe the chaos. Maybe they are experiencing some sort of chaos in their own mind. And they're like, clearing it out, and that's it.
but I think that's the thing, isn't it? We get so caught up in our own heads sometimes that it's really difficult to actually get those thoughts in any kind of order, or understand them. But when we speak them out, it kind of like makes things so much clearer
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, true, absolutely. And also when you know that the person who's listening is listening in a way like that is very free, kind, loving, non-judgmental, then what happens as you're sharing that message, you find a lot of healing and peace within yourself. And it's almost like that person is a mirror of what you're sharing. And as you see that they are not judging, what that does to you is it's helping heal. And I believe that as guides, coaches, readers, our one of the big roles that we have is to help people feel that love and healing energy. And yeah, that's just a beautiful gift that we can share with them.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just in one-to-one situations either, is it? I mean, I find when I run the group stuff that I do, you know, and sort of like guided meditations, when people share afterwards, other people may get an answer to a question that they had in their mind because somebody else has answered it in that space, and they've got the support there that they need.
Yeah, true. And that's why, we then choose groups and communities that we resonate with. And we grow in communities a lot as well. I mean, I can definitely 100% say that a lot of stages of my growth in business, I refer to business now, have happened because I've been in communities where people were incredibly supportive, and I've tried my best to be supportive, for them. So yeah, when we again, it all comes back to who am I, what do I like, what kind of energy I like, and then you are clear on that, and then you see, where do I feel drawn to, like what kind of communities I want to find people alike, I want to resonate with those people. Then you go there and you find that you grow with them, because like you said, somebody asks a question, and then the answer that comes as a response to that question may help the whole collective, the whole community, or inspire as well. And that can be like, oh yeah, I needed that.
Exactly, and you as just a self, yourself as that teacher, that guide, that therapist, etc. You learn so much as well from the people you're working with because you're open to that connection and that guidance within.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what this does is, instead of you trying so hard with your brain to come up with products and ideas, what you're doing is you're listening to those people who come to you, they ask for your help, and you see what kind of help did this person ask for, like why did they feel drawn to my energy? And so you start thinking, how else can you help, how else you can bring value. And and then it comes from heart, and everybody can feel it. Like everybody can feel when something comes from just logic and, oh, it has to be like this and that, or when it's something that comes from that person's gifts, and that person really wants to serve with those gifts and share them.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. And Eric says, thank you both for the clarity you guys bring. This is one I'm definitely going to go back to listen to. Wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful day in a week. You too, Eric. Enjoy the rest of your day. And Eric's in, I can never remember. I think he's in Canada himself.
okay. Yeah, we talked about Canada earlier. It's,
We did.
yeah,
And
exciting.
it is. And I think, with different countries, sort of like when you go traveling and visiting, do you find that helps when you go to a different country and you get immersed in the different culture and everything, that really can help you connect with yourself as well and find out stuff within you that you might not have had already?
I mean, I love traveling. And
She
Canada is
does
on my
love
list as
traveling.
well. And Canada and many other countries are on my list for sure. Yeah, I feel like it's not a coincidence that I was born in my country, like my origin country in Moldova, and then I traveled and moved from one place to another. I never actually counted how many houses I changed in my life, because there have been many for sure. But now, when I choose to travel to a specific country, I always come back with so much, because you can like read in the books all day long how those people live and what kind of culture there is and blah blah blah. Also, media influences all of us so much telling us, oh, don't go to that country because it's like this and like this and like that. Um, but then, I mean, as long as it's safe and you can go and you make sure like all of that is in place, then what happened for me is I've discovered that I love new types of food or new types of clothing, um, colors, spices, people sharing their stories with me. And in those stories, I learn about their culture, traditions. How did they create those traditions as well? How do they live? How do they eat? And that helps me open up my heart more and be more compassionate as well. And my clients are from all over the world, and that also helps me understand my clients too. And it does help me understand me because um, I check in with myself and I ask myself about my values. Like when I listen to all of these people's stories, it kind of invites me to to kind of confirm some of my own values or embrace them more or find new ones. So yeah, for me it's exciting. And also now, as you know, I have my beautiful daughter. She's 6 years old, and she has been traveling with us ever since she was little. She's seen so many countries already, and I definitely want to encourage her to explore that, because every time we go somewhere, she comes back with like new words. Like we've been to Greece recently, and she came back saying, "Oh, this is how you say good morning and good evening and thank you." And for me, that fills my heart, you know. So
Yeah, a multilinguist that she's going to be. And Graham says, I lost count also, Stella. No, I'm now in the USA. Oh, yeah. Graham's from England initially, and he was in the Navy, so he's travelled everywhere. And then he met a lady in Florida and moved out to Florida. Yes, you do.
yeah, love is one of the most powerful energies in the universe. And yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I've been to the US, as you know, many years ago, and I definitely plan on visiting again. But yeah, and I also find like you I'm sure you felt that too. Like when you go to different places, you feel different energies from Mother Earth as well. And it's not a coincidence that people will go to certain places to charge their stones or their tools that they work with, or yeah, just ground themselves. So yeah, that is fascinating to me too.
Yeah, definitely. And grounding is so important. I think, and it's something a lot of us don't actually do enough of, because again, that helps us go within and understand ourselves and gives us that connection with Earth and the energy of Earth and other people on Earth. Because if people on the spiritual path, it's great to be up there and connecting to the universe, to galactic beings, to angels, to spirits, etc. But you've got to be grounded to actually bring that information and that knowledge down to be able to connect with people that are here on Earth. So, because
Yeah.
if you're just talking from that higher position all the time, the people on Earth aren't going to understand it.
That, and also we disconnect from our body, which is very, very hard if that happens. Because if we can't be in touch with our own body in this lifetime, uh, we can yeah, we can step into so much as a consequence of that. But the thing is, we chose to come in this body in this lifetime for a reason. And when, if we can embrace all parts of our being and also being aware of everything else that's out there, we can follow signs. Because it's like, is this a coincidence that when you come into a room full of people, you'll feel like some sort of sensations telling you, yeah, go and connect with that person or the other person? Like, this is not just like random stuff. So when you're in contact with your body, you can even actually, download or understand even more information. And yeah, like you said, also, you want to feel grounded and connected with Mother Earth too. And that's important. And actually, this reminded me of this term earthing. Maybe you've heard of it. So,
Earthing, yeah.
yes, yes. So, there have been studies done showing how important it is for us to connect with ground, and how like we can release so much tension and some diseases even. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's what they said in the research, so that's fascinating.
It is, and and it can help you sleep. Go and stand on the bare, on the bare earth. For I think it's about 20 to 30 minutes, and it'll help you sleep. I mean, and you can even buy electrical equipment now that you can actually place in your bed
Yeah.
to earth your bed, so you can sleep with it. So the science behind it is so absolutely amazing. The only problem in my garden is my bit of dirt area is full of spiders and ants.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, what am I treading on today?
Yeah, they want to be your friends.
Yeah, although obviously in the dark you can't actually see them, so they kind of like and you don't be squishing them and that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we won't go into ads. And Graham says to define that of your inner purpose, I define it as self-enlightenment, purpose of being. Uh,
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of saying that, Graham. So, as you know, I do guided meditations and angel oracle card readings. And each week I like to ask my guests what they would like me to do for themselves and watching. So, Stella, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to do a guided meditation for yourself and those watching, or would you like me to pull an oracle card for yourself and those watching?
I think I would love a card.
I will got the cards in my hand. Um, and it's quite rare actually for Stella to be on the other hand of doing cards, because
Yeah.
Stella is actually a very good tarot reader. I mean, she is an amazing
Oh,
tarot
thank you.
reader. So for somebody else doing cards for her, I think you'll jump at that chance.
Oh no,
But
I love listening to you, Ray. Honestly, yeah, for ages I could listen to you and your beautiful wisdom.
oh, bless you, bless you. It's all channeled, comes through. So, as you all know, who's watching, when I do the cards, I do them for what you need to know in your present time. So, even though I work with past life stuff, it's so that we can heal and learn from the past and release it, so that we can be fully present. And when I take people into the future, it's so they can understand and know what their future is and bring that information back to their present. So it's always for what does Stella and everyone who's watching this live on the replay need to know for their highest good at this moment in time. What does Stella and everyone who's watching this? Okay. Okay, so they're making me work for them today. Perfect. And it's something that you actually do. So it's confirmation about what you do already, Stella. Valiant courage, take action with passion.
Oh, wow.
And again, it ties in with what we've been talking about today, as these cards always do. But what they're saying for you, Stella, is keep doing what you're doing. And I know that when you do, when you create stuff, you do create it with passion. And you do move forward with it. So it's literally confirming this for you. And for everyone watching, what it's saying is, have that courage. What lights you up? What are you passionate about? Go and do that. And if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, ask the question, what could I do to make this more exciting? What could I do to make this go quicker for me? It's like it's like asking that question.
That was a beautiful card, Ray, and I couldn't agree with it more. It's so important to take action, because those messages that will come from divine, they can be so subtle, almost like it'll be like a second or something, and then if you are connected with your body, you can feel that in your body. That's why, this is so important. And so once you get it, it's about what you do with it, because these ideas, all of them, they are around us. So all the things that have been invented, they're actually channeled, right? So the cars, the all the things, all the objects that are in the world, they have been somebody's idea, but in fact, it was somebody who channeled that idea. Because if we don't accept the mission, if we say, no, that's too much of a responsibility for me, that idea is like, fine, that's not a problem, and it goes to the next person. So that's why the universe is so abundant. And when the idea comes, if it aligns with you, just go for it. Really go for it. Even if you don't know how it's gonna expand or develop in the future, maybe you don't even need to know, because the life and the universe may actually surprise you. So yeah.
Exactly, one of those things is when was actually in a position to do that, but as people know, I always my ambition as a child was to be an actor, to be an actress, to be on stage. I mean, I do it now in amateur dramatics anyway, but that's what I wanted to do. But obviously, life takes you in a completely different thing. But I remember watching an old black and white film of it wasn't called The Phantom of the Opera, but it's based on the original story. Thinking as I was watching that, my God, that would make a brilliant musical. You could do this, do that. And then years later, Andrew Lloyd Webber did it. And it's like, that was my idea.
Yeah, absolutely. These things happen. I mean, I read someone's story who said they were working on a song, a melody of some sort. So they really worked on that, and then at some point they said, "Oh, I'm still not like really happy with it." So they sat with that information for a while, and then one day, so they weren't doing anything with that song. They created it, but nothing. They weren't doing anything. So one day they were driving, and this song came up on the radio. How crazy that is. So the universe was like, hey, I gave you that idea, you're sitting on it, so it needs to be created. The universe wants to move, to flow. It's so abundant. So everything that we can imagine, that means it's possible to attract, achieve, embrace, and yeah, all of it.
Yeah. And we have to take the valiant courage to go with it with passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Graham says, what a big card. And he's saying, let it go, Ray. You really want me to sing it, don't you? Let it go, let it go. For those that know us, that's an in joke with letting it go. And I still haven't got Graham to sing it yet, but hey, I'll get him to sing it at one point in the future. So, Stella, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
I am just incredibly grateful to be here with you, Ray. I really am, because I feel that every moment is precious. And when we get the chance to connect with people we resonate with, just take that moment, really, really embrace it, love it, share that space with that person. This is why share space with people who you like resonate with. That's, I mean, I have love for everybody, but we have to be honest with ourselves. So when you have people who you care about, they care about you, you resonate with them, appreciate every single moment. And I am appreciating this moment here with you, Ray. We connected years ago.
We did.
We exchanged like different kinds of ideas and thoughts, and yeah, like we interacted with each other quite a bit. So and our life is busy, constantly busy, 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 so we don't always have like these moments. So believe me, I took this time today, this interview, to spend this time with you and like really be present and connect with your energy. And I am incredibly grateful for that. And I'm also grateful to everyone who watched us live and on replay. So Graham, thanks for watching us live, and Eric, and everyone who watches on replay as well. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah. Oh no, you're welcome. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I have. And Graham, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. That's one you have to sing. You can't just actually say that, Graham. Just saying. um with that. So yeah, so everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation, found it insightful, because I know I definitely have, especially about connecting with others when when you know yourself. So if people want to connect with you, Stella, how do they do that?
So I'm on Facebook, Stella Tudor, and my website is stellatudor.com. um, or you can email me, hello@stellatudor.com. Easy.
So you can find Stella anywhere by just putting in Stella Tudor
Yeah.
um, in there. And I believe you're creating a membership. So we're talking about community and bringing people together to learn from each other and to have a supportive community. And you're setting up a membership, aren't you?
Yes. Taking slow, small steps towards that. But you know me, I really need to make sure like I am fully aligned with the process. And yeah, for years I've been doing lots and lots of one-to-one sessions and readings and guidance, and it's my joy, my passion to help people. And I feel that at this point in time I am capable of holding space for more people, to create a community where I would serve more people. And I'm very excited about it. You can probably feel and tell. Yes. So if anyone is interested to stay up to date with everything, about this community, you can just join my waitlist, stellatudor.com/waitlist. Easy.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll put all the links in the
Thank
comments
you.
after the show, so that everyone can just click on it. So Graham says enjoying it loads, Stella and Rae and everyone else. And he says when you want to talk about your membership, that will be awesome, Stella.
Thank you so much.
Um,
And yes, so for everyone who is on my wait list, they will be receiving freebies and free events. I've done one already recently, and it was about storytelling and narrative creation. The next one is going to be about energy management and self care. Both of these things are very connected to each other, and more gifts will come up. So even even if you just want to kind of see what's in there, you'll receive all of these things for free if you are on my wait list. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. And from the bits and pieces that I've gleaned from Stella, it's going to be an amazing membership. So thank you so much, Stella, for taking the time to come on the show and sharing your wisdom. It's been absolutely amazing having you on the show. And thank you, Graham and Eric, for joining the conversation. And thank you to everyone else I see who's been watching the show today, who weren't quite brave enough to actually say hello or leave any comments or ask any questions. And of course, those watching on the replay. And if you are watching on the replay, then, feel free to leave any questions or comments, because Stella and I will go back and look through and see if there's anything on there that needs answering. And of course, if you are now ready to remember your divine presence and step onto your spiritual multidimensional path, but you feel lost, stuck, confused, or alone, then please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can see where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny so that you can spread your wings and soar. And of course, you can receive a free future life progression recording to discover your destiny by seeing into your future, to get guidance and clarity that you use in your current life, as well as a couple of other free gifts if you sign up to my email list. And of course, you can also find out more about my Angel Wings membership, which will help you come out of the spiritual closet and enjoy creating a life on your own terms. So again, you can visit my website, Radiant Angel Energy, although I haven't got my waitlist up yet, that you can click on, but you just give me your details and you'll go on the wait list. So again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And the words of wisdom that Stella has given today will really help them to connect within themselves and have a better connection with everyone around them. And of course, if you have been watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified of when this show goes live or I post new guided meditations. And remember, each subscribe, each like, each comment really helps build the channel, get it out there and get this message out to more and more people so that they can get clarity on their life. And I look forward to you all joining me same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.